So your character sheet that you've got kind of what your character is and what they're like. You've got your character sheet on the second side, and the important bits. So when you do anything, you roll a number of d20s equal to your either the skill or the approach, or in combat you use your weapon dice, which is in the bottom part. If you have advantage, you roll an extra d20. If you have disadvantage, you roll one less. You can't ever roll more than 6 dice, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Then you have your defences, which are just under your weapon at the bottom there. So your two main defences are dodge and ward.
Dodge, dodge and dive.
Then you have your soak values, which are kind of what your... which is the dice that you roll to reduce incoming damage. Incoming damage comes off your armour hit points first, and then after that comes off your personal hit points. And generally speaking, you roll a pool of 20-sided dice. You add your core bonus if one of your traits applies. In combat, you always add it, and you're just looking for the highest dice of the pool that you've got.
One highest dice.
One highest dice. And it's meet or beat a target number to be successful in what you do. And then in combat you get a quick action, which is either the blue one that's on your character sheets, or what's called an auto attack, where you just hit one enemy to do a certain amount of damage. And then you get a move, and then either a full action, which is the red one, or 2 half actions, which are the green ones. And there are a couple of other actions which are on there. Using items in combat is you have what's called an inventory point score, which is either 5 or 7. And then there's a list of items that you can use. You don't have to say, well, you don't have to choose up front, I want so many healing potions and so many Phoenix Downs, or whatever they're called. A
Phoenix Ash.
Phoenix Ash. A healing potion, so like an ether potion is 2 inventory points. So you say, well, I want to use one of them. It just costs you 2 of your inventory points rather than...
I like that.
I like that. So then you can use what you need rather than... Yeah, exactly. I know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's almost like spell components. I like it.
Yeah. And then there are some notes about playing in combat. Yours is basically your single target, hit people with your fiery axe.
Max.
Simple as that.
Wicked, let's do it Dr. Soda style. First one to lose a limb buys the next round.
That sounds amazing.
Do it the old Navy way. First one to die loses.
So I think character-wise, we have... I never know how to pronounce that one. I think it's Push.
I think the P is silent, I think it's just wish.
Wish. Yeah, close enough.
Like psychology.
Very psychological.
Oh, that's something that we're working on at work, the unphonetic alphabet.
Oh.
G for gnome.
We had the... Yeah, we had a load of alternates at NRES, yeah. We had...
He as in hiccup. What?
We have Sigler Kell, who is a... sorry, it's the character's surname, who is a Rune Magus witch, and Algernon Algae Pine, who's a blood witch.
Yeah. All the bitch and sour twice.
And because this is a preset adventure, we have cutscenes. Yay! The sun is still in the process of rising over the Orodam Rift, a vast swathe cut from north to south pole in the face of a planet called Golm, like a thick slice pulled from a chocolate orange. Within this great rift are floating islands called homes, held aloft by the esoteric ether of their composition and the pale mist which shrouds the lower reaches of the chasm. Heavy cold shadows cut from east to west, and the grass is slick with dew as your party strides forth from the woods back towards the little town of Kedilin. 3 days ago, your group was given an opus, the plural of which is opera, which is a special task from an adventuring guild suited to your strengths. Opera are to be performed on behalf of a group that's unable to pay, and are paid for by the adventuring guild which issues them. This ensures that not just the wealthy have access to the services of adventurers. It's good work when you can get them, and usually gets you brownie points with the locals as well. Your mission from the Adventurers Guild of Kedilin was to hunt down and destroy an ancient war walker from before the time of the Hellquake that ripped this section out of the planet, which the locals had accidentally awoken sometime recently. It had been hiding in the woods, coming out every few days to raid the town stores of ether crystals, and had already killed someone and grievously injured 2 others in one such attack. Your hunt was successful. The war walker was a mighty opponent, but you prevailed and were able to tear out its corrupted thaumacore, which is the engine that drives it, to make sure it couldn't reactivate again, and to bring it back to town as proof of your deed. So this is where we enter the first cutscene of the game, where we have a flashback. There are 2 different types of cutscenes. There are flashbacks and meanwhiles. Meanwhiles are scenes which are occupying more or less at the same time as what's happening at the table, which are used by me as a GM to foreshadow events, introduce side characters and villains, and to let you as players in on things which are interesting that the characters don't know. Okay. Flashbacks are things which have happened outside the confines of actual gameplay, but you were involved in.
Okay.
Now, on your character sheet.
If they're a flashback for just one of us, do the other people know? Is it assumed that we've told them about these things?
Yeah. This is like a group flashback though, which is where of the hunts for this war machine. So on your character sheet, so you've got your skills down the one side, and then just under skills, you've got 4 flashback approaches. So top left you've got your skills, and then down a bit you've got the approaches. Yeah. You got it?
Oh yes.
Yeah. So each of you, if you pick one of the cutscene approaches to use,
I'm going to go with clever.
Is it prudent to just be using the best one that we have?
Yeah. And then you pull that many d20s from your thing.
I rolled 2 3s, but I did roll an 18.
What dice is about?
Do I? Is it the +3 to
And
that?
then you add 3 to the highest one.
12.
So
19.
12.
Okay.
So then I have my core bonus.
Yep.
So that'd be 15.
15, fantastic. So we've done cautious. Yep. You did clever.
I did clever.
You did clever.
Forceful.
You did forceful. And the only one that wasn't done was quick. So during the adventure with hunting down and fighting the mighty war walker, the cautious nature of Algae managed to prevent this thing from ambushing you. So I think your character's like depicted as having almost animalistic ears.
Yeah.
I think you all are, but yours were particularly sensitive and heard the mighty engine of this thing before it. I think one of your physical traits has got something about your...
Quick and quiet.
Yeah. Your clever approach was successful, Sigler, and so when you were dismantling this thing after you'd managed to defeat it, you managed to recover 3 Magitech fragments. So you can write that down on your character sheet. Doesn't really matter where. These can be sold for 10 libras a piece, which is quite a bit of money once the scenario is over. But they're just like generic still active pieces of the magical technology that drove this thing. And the forceful approach was successful, so so there's going to be a scene of you kind of using your mighty thews and your
Swishy tail.
quite obvious thunder thighs. And is that like that looks like a mermaid tail, doesn't it?
Mermaid tail.
Yeah, built like
Badass.
a tank. Kind of heaving against the side of this thing once you've cleft this thing in twain with your great big fiery axe, and then just yanking this huge magical core out. The downside is that nobody did a quick approach because there weren't enough. On the way back, at some point coming out of the forest, you were waylaid by a gaggle of what's called filch birds. So in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, there are the rat birds that he makes. They're a little bit like that.
No.
Behold, a pigeon rat.
And they made off with some of your supplies.
Oh, rude.
So you each are down 1 inventory point.
Boo.
Rude.
That's a cutscene.
Okay.
When your adventuring group has relived their most recent adventure, you continue reading aloud. As you crest the last hill leading to the town of Kedalin, an odd scene greets you. Chimneys unlit and no one going about their morning routines on the cobbled streets, not even the sounds of roosters crowing or cats meowing. Something strange has happened to this sleepy little town. As you wander the streets, you realise that it looks like the people disappeared in a flash, there one moment and gone the next. Breakfasts lying uneaten, homes locked from the inside but empty from what you can see through the windows. Your best bet for answers and to get paid for your recent quest is to search for clues and what might have happened here. So you have a list of skills which you can use. What does everybody want to use?
Can I use learn to see what I learn from the surroundings, or is that more of a specific
Book learning.
book learning? Yeah, I'm going to attune. I'm just going to kind of see what I can pick up, like echoes of magicalness.
The attune skill is used to learn about the local ether, identify magic and spellcraft, and control magical devices. As gifted mages, both Algie and Sigler are both especially skilled with attune. Card is no slouch, and Wish, well, you're a bit more direct in your approach on these things.
So yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to see if the ether talks to me.
Yep. And are any of your traits going to affect this?
Traits. Insatiable curiosity? Nah, I don't think so. Scholar of Arcane Sciences, perhaps?
Yeah.
So I get to add your core bonus. So that's the 3. Okay.
And you're after 15.
14.
Ooh.
Okay.
It does look like a very powerful teleportation spell was used. You can't quite identify it. Usually teleportation spells that you're aware of, you have to like draw a location to teleport to or from, and there's no sign of that sort of thing.
I look around at everybody and give a kind of...
I guess I would like to just inspect the area. Is there anyone around? Kind of. Someone
Did
get
they
missed.
miss anyone?
Yeah, someone get missed.
Inspect is used when deducing details about an object, person or place that you are currently holding, observing or within. It's based on your own internal knowledge and logical processes. Algie and Card are skilled with it and can use it to perform visual calculus, attempting to recreate the scene based on the evidence left behind.
Pretty much, that's what we're all trying.
Cool.
Sherlock style mind palace.
Yeah.
So, 2, and I don't think there is any.
So what traits do you have?
I've got Tunnel Ranger Combat Medic, Quick and Quiet, Seeing the Worst and Best of Humanity, And wolf-like canine features. Ooh yeah, sniffy.
Yep.
So +3.
Yep.
Sniffy.
Shut up.
Oh yeah.
That's 9 or 18.
Ooh, okay. There are some signs of struggle here and there. Don't leave them hanging.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see.
There are some signs of struggle here and there that you didn't spot initially, that indicate that not everyone was seemingly caught unawares by whatever happened to them. A cup knocked over here, a chair flipped over there, a torn curtain, a broken broom handle, and here and there a few drops of blood speckled about. Whatever happened here was quick, but not as instantaneous as you first thought.
I'll share that with me.
And choose A or B.
B.
There's an indication that someone made a break for it from the group in the centre of the village, whoever was here, pushing over carts and knocking over a stand of potted plants in the market, in the process of a mad dash towards the Adventurers Guild atop the small hill overlooking the town.
So maybe
I guess we
this will
follow that drill.
Wish. What do you wish to? What do you wish to do?
Wish to do.
On the trail.
No, I mean you can make a roll to see if you can get any more clues.
Hunt.
Oh, definitely. Hunt tests a roll to find people and animals, track movement based on clues left behind.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do it.
17.
Awesome.
17.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, you find more evidence that there are some drag marks that may have first looked like tracks left behind by carts, and some other general marks of a large number of townsfolk, of people passing through, seem to indicate that the townsfolk were gathered outside their homes in a large group before they vanished. And again,
So what about the people with the locked houses?
yeah.
Mystery.
And then again, there was very definitely a sign that somebody made a dash. The Adventurers Guild.
So we follow that. To the Adventurers Guild.
I concur.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
The Adventurers Guild Hall is fairly standard. They use a prefab design just to make it nice and easy on the copy paste pixel art generators for the just to save memory space on the cartridge. And when you enter the guild hall, you see an awful lot of blood, empty potion bottles, and unspooled bandages all over the place. Kaza, the guild mistress, cradling her bloody bandaged torso, smiles weakly where she's propped up against one of the tables when she sees you all enter. Thank the nine, she says, that they didn't get you either. I thought I was going to have to save these people myself. She's the guild master of the local Adventurers Guild and as close to a friend here in town as you've had on the entire home since you arrived. She's a woman in her late middle years with dark skin and long curly hair messily tied back behind her head, an eye patch covering her left eye. Strangely enough, she has the scar going down the side of it, but the scar goes over the eye patch.
The mysteries.
And old battle scars covering her face and arms. You're far more worried, however, about the much fresher wounds still bleeding through bandages wrapping her abdomen.
Yeah, I'd like to help her if I could. When we get there.
Got me pretty good before I could activate the guild hall's barrier. I'm afraid I'm not going to be much use to you until I've recovered. One of them bastards took off one of my swords with him, the two, stuck right to his metal face.
Metal face, eh? Yeah, can I help her in any way?
Yes, certainly. We're not in combat, so you don't need to worry massively.
Yeah.
You can just narrate if there's any of your abilities that you use. Do it as a straight skill. Use one of your spells.
You've got restore.
Just trying to see what we've got. Red flash cantrip, sacrifice 15.
with your sacrifice abilities, you can spend up to that many of your own hit points.
Okay.
And
then distribute them amongst.
Yeah. Because a lot of your abilities and your sorcery triggers allow you to heal yourself.
Yeah, whenever I heal an ally, I also gain 2 hit points.
Some for the doctor too.
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we'll just check her over and make sure she's like it's well bandaged and.
Okay. You can make finesse.
Do you realise the skills are different on each card?
Yeah, you've got a restore skill, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I do. I guess is restore a healing thing?
Yeah.
Cool. I'll do that. I'll use my background of Tunnel Ranger Combat. Medic!
Would you like to know more?
What's 2 11s, so 14.
Oh, you set aside no care.
Okay.
The enemy cannot push the button if you disable his hand.
You manage to repatch and rebandage. You clean the wound out a little bit better than she'd done herself. That and a little bit of time and some of the healing. You know, she's used a couple of elixirs and so on, so it will get better. I think your care has sped it up.
Yeah. Excellent.
She got a boo-boo.
She did get boo-boo.
Jenny used to draw monsters on the plasters to scare the pain away.
That sounds awesome.
What?
Thomas's auntie Jenny used to draw monsters on the plasters of the kids when they hurt themselves to scare the pain away.
I like that.
That was brilliant.
Okay, not sure what they were exactly, she says. They weren't Imperial machines. They were definitely what's called Mechari, which are the old magical monsters. Magical technological monsters, but not shiny and new. Old, real old design. Maybe from the same place that war walker you were hunting. Some folks disturbed a pre-seismic ruin a couple of weeks ago when they were digging for a new well at the common farmland west of town. Must have been more than that old walker down there. She chuckles and then winces. She groans in pain as she pulls herself upright. Well, if you can help us out with the rest of this, I can promise more than just a standard payout of the opus. I'm sure the folk of Kedlin will be more than happy for the rescue as well. And she points you back west to roughly quench or the direction that the well was being dug.
I guess we
Head back.
head west. Go west.
You're just gonna up and say yes and leave?
Was there anyone else in there?
Is that where the tracks led? Is that what we followed?
The tracks that you followed were her tracks going from there up to here.
She's not the only one in there, though, is she?
Yeah,
well,
she is.
was the only one.
She's the only one that managed to get in here.
So, okay.
Okay. Yeah, I guess time is of the essence.
Yeah.
Okay. Just before you head off, she says, oh, hang on. And she fishes around, she gets one of you to bring over a lockbox. And she opens it up and she gives 2 crystal torches. Basically magical flashlights powered by lightning crystals. Sigler and Algie both have light weapons, I mean you can fight while still holding them. Wish and Card have 2-handed weapons, so I think it makes sense for you to have them. Yeah. Switching them on sheds a wide beam of slightly...
Is Card in this team? Okay.
It sheds a wide beam of slightly purplish light out to about 40 feet, so they're fairly potent.
We have Prince branded flashlights.
Travelling west towards the common farmland, you realise that you're hearing a steady, rhythmic groaning sound like an ether turbine whirring away somewhere in the distance.
Is it like that sound that NASA released of that black hole?
Wasn't that
That
amazing?
is amazing.
They took the radio emissions from a black hole.
I thought the whole point of a black hole is that nothing could escape it. Not light,
I
not
don't know
nothing.
if it was a black hole or if it was something
It's
else.
it's the nebula around the black hole. So it's like all of the atoms and stuff being stripped of all of the nearby stuff being pulled into the.
And the human ear
accretion
couldn't
disk.
hear it, so they had to like do some
Well,
crazy
they-
stuff to it.
They speed it up. So, you know, you take 10 hours worth of stuff and then condense it down to a 10-second clip, and it sounds
Exactly how you would
just
imagine
like
it.
what I want to make modular sounds like.
It sounds like Pete Steele gargling.
Yeah.
Gargling what?
A black hole.
He could gargle the universe, he was a big guy. Travelling west towards the common farmland, the noise grows a bit louder as you approach a large mound of churned up black soil. The mound's at least 24 feet in diameter and rises 6 feet high above the surrounding rows of earth. It would appear that Karza's not so huge a sinkhole has grown a bit since the last time she saw it. Climbing up the mound of soil, you stare down into a hole that's a few yards deep. At its terminus is a set of dirt-encrusted stairs leading down deeper into the earth, buttressed by pillars caked in soil. The sounds of Magitech humming is quite clearly emanating from within.
Oh, that's not ominous.
Yeah.
There is. Does anybody have like a skill like notice or
I have watch.
watch?
Watch.
Yeah, make a watch.
What's the skill all others?
Yeah, I was just about
That's
to
any
ask.
of the other skills which you don't have on your character sheet.
So I could roll on all others that would cover
Watch.
I'll do that, just because we're all looking. I'm bad at it.
Does insatiable curiosity come under that?
Yes. And
15.
your wolf-like senses would.
18.
A grand total of 12.
Okay.
It says I'm built like an.
Aurochs.
Yeah, what's that?
Aurochs were like giant cattle, like 10 foot tall at the shoulder.
Like they're like woolly mammoths, but for cows, not elephants.
I'm not actually built like one, it just means I'm built big, doesn't
Yeah.
it? I wondered if that was a skill to be built like one. Okay.
No, you're mighty of thew.
We should
I believe
that word needs to come back.
Thews, yeah.
That's one of Robert E. Howard's favourites, isn't it?
Yeah. I think the common parlance would be an absolute unit.
And dummy thick.
Although with the tail, I do not know how the ash cheeks would work.
I can't remember what it's from, but it's, somebody said something and it turned into Clapham Bottoms, and then it turned into children, welcome your new defence against the dark arts teacher, Professor Clapham Bottoms.
But you can probably do that whole thing where you crush melons with your thighs.
Basically,
yes.
my friend Timber would be her in cosplay.
You do notice with your kind of lupine, was it lupine?
Wolf-like,
Yeah,
Wolf-like.
wolf-like things. Some evidence of strange two-toed feet stomping around outside of the hole.
How big are these two-toed feet?
About sort of yay big. Sort of like two very triangular claws with a reversed claw with like a almost completely
So chicken or lizard-like?
Ninja Turtle.
yeah. So two claws about sort of yay big, and then a reverse third claw with like almost hemispherical indent in the middle of them.
So chicken or lizard?
Chocobo.
Is there anything anything like, would I know what that could be?
Would I know what it could be from
Yeah.
my hunts?
Yeah, if you've got
I've got a skill in hunt.
Do it.
Yeah.
18.
18. You've worked on the docks before. Now, there's also, you'll notice that one thing that's not on your character sheet is what race or species or life form your character is,
Mm-hmm.
because it does not make a difference. It gives you a couple of traits, but they're role-playing traits rather than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
You've worked on the docks, so you've seen a lot of different life forms coming through one way or the other, and there ain't nothing that you've seen that has feet like this. Whatever it was not natural.
Cornish.
8 from
We're
round
tracking
here.
the Cornish.
Not natural, but it doesn't look robotic.
It's the fact that it's got almost a perfect hemispherical dip in the middle of the foot that means that it's probably
Is
a mech
robotic. Okay.
of some sort.
8 from round here.
It's robot chicken. Just saying.
I'm thinking like Robo-Raptor. I know.
Mecha Godzilla. What you doing?
I guess we go down to these here doors.
Well, it seems to be going in the direction, so.
Down the steps leading into the home's crust, you see a faint glow that grows brighter the further down you walk. The stairs repeatedly end in landings that turn to continue down. 3 flights of stairs in total lead you to deep underground. The sound of the energised machinery down here is quite loud, but not deafening. When you speak, you can still hear each other without shouting, but only barely. At the bottom of the stairs, the place begins to open up. A wide, long hall lit by intermittent glassy globes ensconced along the walls. Every 20 yards or so, a set of massive sliding doors which have no obvious mechanism for opening and which do not respond to your attempts to attune to their ether. After walking past 3 or 4 sets of such doors, you're at the end of this central corridor, and here you finally find a way forward. So most of these doors are kind of like wedged open at some point. One set of doors here at the end of the hall looks to have been torn open from the inside by something of monstrous strength.
Oh, good.
Scraps of adamantine lie torn and twisted like they were nothing but a thin foil of gold leaf, discarded in front of a gaping hole that leads into the side wing of the enormous complex. Within there is darkness. This part of the complex does not seem to be lit.
Prince torch.
Yeah, get out my crystalline torch and
you illuminate the chamber on the other side. What purpose this room may have once served is difficult to surmise, as its current state is that of a metal box strewn with the shredded remains of ancient Magitech devices, and walls covered in deep gashes that look like they match the spread of a powerful creature's claws.
great.
Somewhere in the darkness, a gurgling sound, underpinned by a mechanical clockwork clicking, begins to rattle on. A dozen eye-like lights come to life all over the shadowed walls and ceiling, as several more frightful Mikari growls rise to join the first. The creatures lunge at you from the dark, metal limbs ending in terrible curved claws. Defend yourselves. So the screen shifts, music changes. It's not a boss fight yet. This introductory combat encounter pits the group against ancient Magitech automator called Mikari Skulkers. The room in which the fight takes place is a large former laboratory littered with destroyed machinery and shredded Magitech from over 1,000 years in the past.
So it's more up to date than our IT at work.
Just. So, the chamber is in the shape of a large L. The nice thing I like about this game is it kind of abstracts combat. So you've come in here. So if you want to put your character tokens on there.
Yep, that'll do.
Yeah, I'm staying in the rear with the gear.
It makes no difference. Massively. So we have 2 plus
the attacks with the axe.
See, I'm a blood mage. He's mechanical. It's going to be interesting.
It still works. Don't worry about it.
Ah, okay.
Did you make them?
It would be cool to have a button maker that had blank backs. So two different types of the three at the front have revealed. I don't know how you can see them around the corner, but three of them have revealed hands with that look like a bouquet of flowers, but the flowers made of knives.
Ow.
Wolverine extreme, and these two are like crackling with arcane lightning.
Okay.
And initiative goes like this: you guys all get your go first, and then I get my go for each one. Each turn you can do, as I said, a move where you can move up to 2 zones over normal terrain or 1 over difficult terrain, and you can break that move up. So if you want to move 1, do your rest of your actions, then move again, you can do. You get 1 full action or 2 half actions, and then 1 quick action, which is either an auto attack or whatever quick action is on your character sheet. And you guys get to decide.
I need to roll my ether
Witches,
current
both
die.
roll your one of your little dice, and if you want to grab out the 4 little dice, little 6-sided dice.
I have 4, so I had a weak ether charge.
Is that including the +1? Because you get a +1 to your.
Oh, so that's a 5. I have a surging ether charge.
Roll all of them.
What?
Add them up.
What's your +1? Oh, that's on
Because of my red.
16.
16.
So you've got
Fantastic. So if you kind of set those to one side, and you're doing +4 damage, you can also spend those dice on doing a special finishing move, but that +4 damage that you've got drops down when you spend the dice. Yeah, so you guys get to go first.
Okay.
Do you want me to go first for the smash smash?
Please.
Yeah.
So I can move 2
You can move.
places.
2 spaces,
Okay. Move.
2.
Yeah.
And then
Can do a full action. Where full charge. Physical attack 2d20 +4 versus dodge. 1 target in range 0. I'm letting you target in range 0, do I?
no.
Okay, so I can't do that. I can do a half attack, which is physical attack. 1 target in range 2. Move 2 to engage with the target.
Yep. So you've done your normal move to there.
Yeah.
So that is an extra ability that you've got where you press the right combination of buttons and then you charge into attack one of these other ones.
Okay, let's do that.
Yep.
Yep.
Lightning 1 or claw 1?
Claw 1.
Cool.
2d20.
Yep.
+4
Mhm.
versus dodge.
The dodge for a claw 1 is
Physical damage and dazed 1.
so it's 12 that you need.
Plus my 3 bonus.
That's included in the +4.
Ah.
So that was your half action.
So you can do another one of those halves? Or no? It's in a 0.
You're now at range 0.
So we could do a different half.
Yep.
Where I push physical damage, push the target to a zone in range 2 to 3, piercing damage to 3 targets in target's ending zone.
So effectively you slam a target away, and then if there are any other targets where it lands,
So get pierced as well.
Yeah. So the same claw guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
11, but plus my 4.
Yeah.
So that's 15. That
Yep.
works.
So that smashes him.
Yeah.
Does that say how much damage you do?
No. Physical attack 2d20 plus 4 versus dodge. 1 target in range 0. CD physical damage. Push target to a zone in range 2 to 3. Piercing damage to 3 targets.
So core damage is under your weapon. I think.
CD is your core damage. So
20.
Yep, 20 core damage.
Okay.
That lot there gives you plus 4.
Okay.
So 24.
Okay.
You did.
I get to soak 3 of that. That's 20. And it would kind of effectively bowl into any other targets that were in its target zone, but there aren't any there. And then you get a quick action as well.
Move to engage with the foe and make an auto attack against them. Inflicts 4+ damage if I choose to suffer exposed to.
Yeah. So you can run back at this guy that you've slapped across and add insult to injury.
Did 24 not do any damage?
It is quite badly mangled.
Finish it.
Can I not just hit one that I'm close to now?
Yeah, you can do. So your quick, what's called auto attack, you don't roll to hit.
Right.
You just do 7 piercing damage, which means they don't get to absorb it to any one of these other ones. So
Do it to one of the lightnings. Lightning 5.
lightning 5. Cool.
I'm just going to do the cake now because that was me done, wasn't it?
Yep. So you see Wish effectively go charging down the corridor, turn to the left, their axe catches fire in a blaze of, like a comet, was it Medoken?
Medoken.
Charging forward, and then this Mikari just kind of come hurtling out the end.
Okay, do you mind if I go?
Okay.
So I'm going to try and see if I've got all of this off my head. So the first thing I'm going to do is use my quick action to do Xenosyntax, which is magic attack 3d10 versus ward 1 foe in range 3. So that's within range 3. Ominous Signifier means that when I use Xenosyntax, I have a bonus weak ether charge that I must spend before the end of my next turn, or it is lost. Yep. So I've got a bonus weak, so I'll
just put a number
put a 1 there, so that I know that I've got that one to play with. So I'll resolve that before I do the next bit. So 3d20 plus 3.
Versus ward, which is 12.
So that's 17.
Yep.
It does core damage plus 2 times the number of active runes. I don't have any active runes at the moment, so it's going to take 14 umbral damage.
Okay, and that's not piercing or anything, is it?
It just says umbral.
Okay, so you lash out and it is destroyed. What does it look like when you...
It's my my arcane butterfly familiars. I basically just make a gesture and they kind of fly at it and. So then I'm going to use.
I don't know why I gave you all like frosty ones, because your main weapon is like ice edged spirits. So your standard attack is you direct those things.
Yeah.
So just with a quick word, you send these butterflies and they go fluttering, and then at some point they turn into shurikens.
Nice.
That's very cool. So my move action is I can move up to two zones. 1, 2.
Yep.
Or does leaving that one count as 1?
1, 2.
So I'm then going to move up to here.
Yeah, that's dead.
That one's dead. So I can now use my half actions, because I can either use my full action or my 2 half actions.
Yep. Yep.
Alcoholic cake.
There's a tool at the back.
Oh yeah.
I need to drizzle.
So I am going to use Envas Pyros. So sorcery magic attack against one target in range, astral damage. Up to 3 foes in the target zone suffer 3 piercing damage, and I'm going to use my weak ether charge that I've just got to drop Rune of Power. You or one ally in power range gain empowered 2, so I want to drop that onto Wish.
Yeah. I just put 2 of them on there, so it's got 2.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. So so she's empowered by 2. So that's my freebie has been spent. And I'm going to use my surging charge to use Rune of Time. So one foe in power range suffers 3 piercing damage and is slowed 2. So
Rune of Time.
Yeah, and we'll drop that on the lightning-y one that's right up.
Lightning 5 has been hit already.
Yeah, we'll drop.
So how much damage is that?
So
3 piercing.
So yeah, suffers 3 piercing damage and is slowed 2, and then I need to resolve my actual attack. So it's 3d20 versus ward to one target in range 3. Does this have to be the same target I've dropped the rune on? So I'll attack the lightning boy at the back. So lightning 2 will attack.
12 you need.
13.
Yep.
So that's going to take 14 astral damage.
Not piercing?
Nope.
Okay.
But then 3 foes in the target zone do take 3 piercing damage, so the other 3 are going to take 3 piercing.
Yep.
And then with my other half action, I'm going to drop my cantrip sigil here. So if any of them come down to punch me, they're going to get blown up. Engrave an explosive effect in glowing ether on the ground. Trigger effect triggering foe suffers 8 piercing damage. Oh, it doesn't say what the range for that is.
I think it's in the same zone as you. But that's quite useful, because if she slaps another one down this way...
Yeah. And that's my turn, I believe.
You did your quick, you did your move.
I did a
you
move,
did 2 halves.
did a quick, did my 2 halves.
That's pretty fucking dynamic.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
You're participating.
I'm participating.
Well, no one's damaged at the
Algae.
moment. So, Algae makes her 2 moves to come join Siegler. And does her full action at the closest thing to her, which would be...
Lightning 5 is under the time rune, so it's slowed. Lightning 2 is taking 10 damage. They've got 27 hit points, so there's a third off. The 2 claw boys have just got scratches.
So we'll go for the front claw boy then.
7, yep.
Yep.
What's the name of this game?
Megalos. Megalos.
I'm going to do my full action. Blood Drain.
Okay.
Because my half actions are healing things, so all my guys are pretty ledge at the moment. So, magic attack of 3d20 plus 3 versus ward. One target in range 3. So that's in whatever. Core damage plus 2. Umbral damage. I heal for half of the post-soak damage inflicted, but that's not going to necessarily be needed. Because I'm alright at the minute. But 12.
15.
15. Yeah.
Cool. If you ever get an 18 or more in combat, and that's natural or adjusted, that's what's called a surging hit, and you do plus 5 damage.
Oh, sweet.
Oh!
Yeah. And Wish does plus 7 damage.
Sweet.
Get off my obstacle.
Yeah. So how much damage? Core damage plus 2.
Yeah, quarter, so that'd be 12.
12. Okay. That's not piercing, is it?
Umbral. Umbral.
Umbral. Okay.
Umbral.
You'll notice you've got a couple of different soak types at the bottom. Most basic monsters just have one type. And that was your full and your quick action.
Is to redistribute HP, but we're all okay, so I don't necessarily need to do that.
No problems.
So if you did a quick action, you could just do
An auto attack.
Yeah.
Your basic weapon, I think, has got a range.
Range 3, yeah.
In 3.
Yeah.
So I could bloodletter claws.
Yep.
So weapon dice.
You don't need to roll.
Okay.
It just does
4 damage.
4 damage. Yeah.
Do that one. The same one that I hit.
Yeah. Wish and Sigler do 7 piercing. Card and Algernon do 4 piercing.
4 piercing damage at number 7 then.
At number 7, yeah. Cool. Cool. But you use your quick action for Xenot's intact, so.
Yep.
Cool. It is now their go.
Oh.
Am I dead?
No. Sigler put a rune of power on you, means you do plus 3 damage with all of your attacks apart from your auto attack. And the one in front of you has been hit by a slowdown.
I thought I was over this.
No.
It's in the colours.
Yeah. This is a glowing fire rune that if any, not hinting at anything, but if any enemies land in this square, it blows them up.
Ooh.
So if you do your tail slap, what's the opposite of a, hey buddy, come here.
Not a physics major.
So the lightning one in front of you is slowed, rune of time.
Rune of time, which it says slowed to. I'm not sure what the.
And it doesn't define what slowed does. No, never mind. So I guess it can't move quite. We'll give it a stack of disadvantage on its attack. So it goes
You look so comfy.
3d20
Yeah.
disadvantage.
It was well expensive, but it's well squishy.
What is your ward score? Bottom left. 10.
Squish
2,
nose.
so it gets a 9. Bolt lens. So effectively, its eye, or its multiple eyes just kind of focus on you, and it fires a beam of energy which misses. This one here will do the same thing at you. Not slowed, and it gets a 19, so it hits you and does 12 physical damage.
So something happens to one
Yes.
first.
So across the bottom you've got your soak scores, physical, astral.
Yep.
Yep. So you roll whatever it says under physical soak.
Six.
6. So you take 6 damage, but that comes off your armour hit points first.
Okay.
Which is, I think, the smaller one. And can you make either a finesse or force test, whichever is best, and you need a 15. 15, fantastic. So you managed to avoid the wounded effect that it would have put on you. This one uses an ability called skittering, spidery skittering, move action, move 3, ignoring difficult and blocking terrain as long as there are walls or other vertical surfaces the sculptor can run across. Landing in here, your sigil goes off.
So, Balefire Sigil, triggering foe suffers 8 piercing.
Does it only last once?
Yeah, just once. Yeah.
And it only hurts from that, guys.
So claw 8 takes 8 piercing.
Pretty, I saw there. We'll line it up.
That is really quite injured. And it goes to use Bouquet of Blades
Do not want.
on Algae. What's your dodge?
My dodge. 14.
Oh,
There's a nat 20.
Ow!
So that is 12 physical damage.
Nice.
So, soak first.
2.
So there's 10 physical, comes off your armour first. And can you make a finesse or force, whichever is highest? If you have neither, then it's all others. It's a skill.
Oh, okay. Yes, no, so it'll be all others.
Yeah. You need 15.
No.
Nope. Okay. So you are wounded 1. So that is a stack of wounded. 3 piercing damage at the start of each of your turns per stack. So, wounded 1. And this one skitters up and does the same thing to Sigler.
But then on my turn,
Oh,
I get stuff.
I need to roll. I've just realised. Whenever you use a cantrip, I need to roll another.
Yeah.
Can't.
Surge.
There we go.
Fantastic. And that is a surging hit, so there's 12 physical.
On me.
Yeah. You get to soak
to
some
try
of
and
that.
soak. I need a D4. Soaked 2, so I'm taking 10. So my armour is now 0, and I have taken 2 hit points of actual damage.
And again, finesse or force.
18.
18, yeah, that's fine. So you avoid that one there. Your goes again.
Bashy again. Full action. Physical attack 2d20. On target. Why? Why is the full action no better? Full charge, +2 ranging gains, auto hit. What's that?
Means you don't have to roll to hit.
Okay.
So if you can charge at somebody, so you give up your move action and give up your quick action, then you don't have to roll to hit, and it does a bit more damage.
doesn't do more damage.
No? Well, it means you don't have to roll to hit.
Oh, CD plus 5 it does.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do still the 2 halves then.
Mm-hmm.
There's no benefit pushing them near those guys when I was there.
No. You can just do a half action attack if you want, or you can do a full action standard attack without using your special ability.
Sorry, words are going in.
Okay. If you just want to hit them,
Yeah.
you can make 2 normal attacks
Yeah.
or 1 big attack. Without, irrespective of what it says on your
2
character
normal
sheet.
attacks.
2 normal attacks.
And I roll for them.
Yes. So, against the first guy,
Yeah.
Ooh, not 20.
That 20.
that 20, and that, yeah. How much damage do you do?
20.
20 plus 4 plus 7.
Lots. He
Slice
did.
and dice.
He did.
The other one. Ah, sorry.
I think you only roll 2 dice in combat anyway.
Huh? 3. 19.
19.
No.
So that's 20 plus 4 plus 7
He did.
is, I can't math.
20 plus 4 plus 7
Yeah.
is
30.
33. Or 31, sorry.
31. Okay, D4 soak. You have 27 hit points.
Yep.
Did.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Who wants to go next?
So they were my half actions, were they? And then I can still do the quick action?
You can still do a move, still do a quick action.
Can I move and do a quick action?
Yeah.
But I can only move one thing.
No, you can move 2 zones.
Okay.
I've just realised you were doing 3 extra damage on those hits as well, so yeah.
He did.
You have mullered them.
That is a rather large axe you are wielding there.
The quick action will only work if I get exposed, is that right?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, I do. No, I've got a copy
Yeah,
of
I'll
your
move
character
2 and then flex 4. Whichever one's looking
Move 2
really
to engage with the foe. I make an auto attack against them, and it inflicts plus 4 damage if you choose to suffer exposed to. You don't have to be exposed.
Okay. I will do that. I will be exposed, and I will attack whichever one's looking the luckiest.
Number 8, I think, is looking pretty.
Yeah. So move into there. You do make an auto attack, which for you that does 7. Plus 4 is 11. Auto attacks are piercing damage, so they don't get to roll against it. So it's dead as well.
Woo. Smashy, smashy.
Or without using finishing, your finisher ability, which is even more damage. And you guys.
Shall I try and kill this one?
Yeah, take out 7 because then I can heal everyone.
Okay, so I'm going to use my Xenosyntax to magic attack this creature.
What is syntax speaking languages?
Foreign language.
Right.
I'm conjugating at it. Right, I've got a. I'm going to use. Can I drop my rune before I attack it, or do I have to attack it and then drop the rune? Because it says here I do extra damage if I've got an active rune.
Yeah, you've got 1 active at the moment, but don't forget you can do them in any order.
Right, okay.
It doesn't have to be quick than the other one.
Okay. So I'll do Envos Pyros then, and I will drop that to drop a rune of thorns. So it will suffer an extra 3 damage and stick 2. So.
Nice.
Oh, it's 18 or higher, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
but
a 20.
Modified 18.
Modified.
So 20.
Nice.
Yeah.
Modified 20. So it is going to take 14, so 19 astral damage. Up to 3 foes in the target zone suffer 3 piercing damage. Can it suffer that piercing damage as well, or does it have to be other foes?
That's other phone.
Other foes, that's cool. So that's that one.
It's dead.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
And I'm going to come along. And so, at the start of combat, roll 1d6. So I've got my ether current die.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you use a cantrip power, so you may have up to 4. So does that mean these sorcery options exist? Okay. So
I'm the only one that's taken actual damage. Or does her healing heal armor as well?
It's just actual hit points.
Oh.
I think.
My armor.
because
is
my cantrip,
broke.
I have to sacrifice 15 of my own hit points.
You can
so
sacrifice up to 15.
oh, up to 15.
You don't have to sacrifice any.
Oh, okay. I can heal an amount of HP equal to 2 times the amount of HP I sacrifice when I use this power. So if I sacrifice 1, so that you get 2 hit points back, and then using my little thingy here, an ally gets extra 2 hit points.
I only need to recover 2.
So that's just that. And then because my talent is I have sacrificed 1 hit point, but I get 2. So
Some for the doctor.
some for the doctor. But I'm not hit points, that's just my
Armor hit points. Your armor hit points are restored to maximum after a short rest.
Oh, okay.
So as soon as combat finishes,
It resets.
yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Shields loaded.
Yeah.
Beep 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 beep.
Hello.
We're too good at these noises.
The skulkers are twitchy, sparky, destructive creatures whose core functions have been eroded by 1,000 years of the slowly decaying stability in the area. They don't have minds in their own right and are acting just like marionettes. The shockers do their absolute best to stay a zone away from the characters at all times.
Didn't get much of a chance, did they?
No. In the event that the whole group was KO'd, no. When the team is victorious, they find that the skulkers were sort of swarming over the main door out of the room, just there, possibly trying to protect it. And we are going to leave it there.
Cool.
Yes, that seems like a good.
That was fun.
I like this.
Yeah.
It's fast. It's nippy. I'm a mage and I don't feel like a glass cannon.
And dice balling.
Huh?
And dice balling.
It's not really a dice pool though, because it's just.
It is, and it's working for you.
I'm
Take
just.
it, own it.
I'm just
Take
rolling
it.
kind of
Lots of
with
advantage.
lots of advantage, so that's fine. If it was a case of having to add together all these d20s, it wouldn't be so good because I normally had 1 that was all right and then 2 that were less than 5. Yeah, that's good. I like that.
That's fun.
Yeah. Cool.
So is this just the beta?
It's a quick start that they released for Free RPG Day. I will put a link to the itch page because it's a free one. I will put that on the group chat.
Cool.
And for the purposes of the video at home, I'll put it in the description. I like the style of this. This is, I think, what 4th Ed D&D wanted to be.
Yeah.
4th Ed was trying to be a Memorpaga, and it was at the time, but this feels like it's much updated. You can tell that the writer has played a lot of console RPGs, and the way that the powers stack off each other is...
Because you're not having to give up loads of stuff to be able to do your cool stuff. You can do your cool stuff. Because that's the one thing I definitely find with 5th ed D&D, is that, especially as a magic user, your spell slots have disappeared before you know it, and you're like completely ineffective if you're like...
Combat's lasted longer than 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I'm doomed.
Guess I'll die.
Pretty much it.
And with the way that it's got that element of asynchronous play, that there are 4 character classes. There's Witch, Throne, Invoker and Summoner, I believe. And the way that Ether charges work differently for each one of them.
Yeah.
So the Thrones, you rolled those 4 6-sided dice at the start of combat. That gives you a hoofing bonus to your damage at the start, and then you can spend them to do massive finishing attacks. They are bonkers good. Not that you needed them, but that means that you choose to do lots of damage to these on the finishers, but your general damage goes down unless you spend a turn like recharging. With you guys, you start off with that one bit of energy, and then as you're casting your cantrip spells, you're adding dice to that pool. Or you can say, one of the things when I was thinking is that, does it make sense for Algae to do a recharge at the start of combat to give you 2 extra surges before things get going?
Yeah. It's just figuring that out.
A lot of options. But I was thinking about Sigler's one earlier, and it's like, that's actually really good.
Yeah, it's
and there's nothing to stop you from doing where you've got your cantrip. Nothing to stop you from doing that twice.
Yeah, but the either the Logos Logos Eruption's a full action, but the Balefire I could do twice, and I could do
so
like...
you don't have to do one of each, you could just do all of the same.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I could use...
Especially mashing buttons rather than combos.
So I could use,
kind of
Balefire Sigil twice to basically act as landmines to protect me, and then use the ether current that I am from that to then make a Xenosyntax attack and drop runes on stuff. So it's kind of like, it's a combination of offensive magic and crowd control in the same turn. Thank you.
Yeah. And the other character, the tank, has got serious get over here, gathering shadows to pull enemies towards them.
Get over here.
Love it. Well, thank you, folks.
Let's go.
Thank you, folks.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You alright with that?
Just sleepy by the looks of it.